Hello and welcome back to our channel. We're all aware that every movie production involves some sort of sacrifice. Making a subpar movie can take a lot of effort and money. Imagine if you land even a little part in a movie that ends up being a bona fide hit, and that movie follows you for the remainder of your professional life, possibly even your entire life. Would you be sorry you took the job? Would you cancel your audition if you could go back in time and make the world right as you promised you would in each and every imagined dispute you've ever had while intoxicated? Some actors were affected in that way by these films. But before we move on to the list, please spare a minute to subscribe to our channel. Number 17. Showgirls. As Jessie Spano on Saved by the Bell, Elizabeth Berkley had a spotless reputation. However, when she was cast as Nomi Malone, a stripper who eventually became a showgirl in Las Vegas, everything changed. Berkley was virtually blacklisted and fired by her agency following the film's premiere. However, Showgirls went on to become a cult favorite. Number 16. Scooby-Doo. A specific generation was made happy by the sarcastic humor of the live-action Scooby-Doo movies, which received mixed reviews but were loved by fans. In two popular films, Scoob and the group found the solution to the problem. However, the fact that actor Freddie Prinze Jr. was unhappy was obvious to all. Number 15. Batman and Robin. Alicia Silverstone rose to fame as a 90s comedy star as a result of her role in the 1995 film Clueless. Due to 1997's Batman and Robin, a colossal disaster, her popularity would all come crashing down 2 years later. Critics lambasted the movie, and Silverstone took up the Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress. Number 14. Abduction. One of the most popular Twilight series actors was Taylor Lautner. Lautner attempted to make the move from adolescent idol to leading man in 2011's Abduction in an effort to seize the moment. Lautner would regrettably want the movie to be kidnapped. The box office performance of Abduction was dismal, and Lautner's acting skills were criticized heavily. The Twilight fandom as a whole was Lautner's only audience, despite his intimate connection to the series. Following that, he would struggle to land big roles in movies, but now he frequently collaborates with Adam Sandler in films like Grown Ups and The Ridiculous Six. Number 13. Psycho. The most popular and successful film directed by Alfred Hitchcock about a hesitant serial killer experiencing a murderous identity crisis altered the path of many lives. Not all of them for the better. One of the most shocking scenes occurs in the iconic shower scene in Psycho, which takes place 30 minutes into the movie and features Janet Leigh, who's supposed to be the leading actress. The scene traumatized more than just the viewers. Additionally, it disturbed Leigh, who famously claimed in interviews given decades after the publication of Psycho in 1960 that she only took baths rather than showers since she was unaware of how exposed one is in that situation. She was also permanently identified with the horror genre for the remainder of her career due to her performance in Psycho. Number 12. Kill Bill Volume 2. Directors frequently thrust their actors into scenarios without warning or preparation in order to elicit a spontaneous response from them. For his Kill Bill series, director Quentin Tarantino chose Uma Thurman, and one of these scenes put his starring lady in grave danger. Tarantino wanted to acquire an image of Thurman driving the bride's iconic blue convertible rather than a stunt duplicate toward the conclusion of the production. She reluctantly consented, even though she was uneasy driving an actual car on set. When the car started to skid and collided front-on with a palm tree, Thurman was driving it down a dubious dirt path. Thurman was being recorded from behind in the backseat of the car, according to a video she made of the collision and released in 2018. She was rendered unconscious when her head crashed into the steering wheel. She was able to leave the scene of the accident after a while, but she later claimed that her knees had suffered lasting harm. Number 11. Ghostbusters. Walter Peck is one of history's greatest villains, if Ghostbusters is one of the best comedies. The obnoxious EPA investigator who tries to stop the team from working during one of the biggest paranormal occurrences in New York City ended up being more of a villain than the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The abuse directed against Peck actor William Atherton didn't end at the limits of the screen because of how well he performed the role. Atherton reportedly faced irate yells from fans who couldn't tell the truth from fiction and tried to instigate fights with him in pubs, according to the DVD commentary track with director Ivan Reitman. The actor who played Egon Spengler, Harold Ramis, claims a bus full of tourists in New York City recognized him and called him. Let's just say they referred to him as Richard Less. Number 10, Simon Says. Dennis Rodman's NBA talent was evident. His career in movies, however, was not very long. After starring in Double Team alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme, Rodman tried directing Simon Says. In this movie, the viewer is expected to believe that the athlete is a member of Interpol. However, neither Rodman's profession nor his acting are the slightest bit credible. The actor's lackluster performance doesn't quite mesh with the fast-paced action scenes. He also doesn't get along with any of the cast, not even Dane Cook. When the convoluted plot and Rodman's lack of talent were coupled, the movie's box office performance tanked. Rodman's career as a leading man ended following this flop, despite his appearances in few movies later. Number 9, From Justin to Kelly. Executives wanted to explore if the singers could also become movie stars when Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini were named the first champion and runner-up of American Idol respectively. The two had the acting skills for movies, but were more than prepared to perform concerts. They were trapped in a really cliched tale about a will-they-won't-they relationship that begins during spring break, which didn't help. The movie ultimately suffered significant box office losses. There was also never ever a studio album of the soundtrack released by the firm. Thankfully, the two of them changed their paths and have since had prosperous jobs. We don't anticipate a Justin to Kelly sequel anytime soon, despite the fact that they all occasionally play acting roles. Number 8, It's Pat. Julia Sweeney was a well-known cast member of Saturday Night Live in the early 1990s. She played the androgynous Pat in one of her most renowned roles. Executives decided that the character deserved to have their own full-length movie for some reason. The majority of the plot centers on the characters attempting to discern Pat's gender identity. If you don't think that sounds like a comedy, you should know that both audiences and critics did. On an $8 million budget, it made less than $100,000 in revenue. After the failure, Sweeney was able to find small film and television roles, but it took her over 10 years to earn a regular series role once more. Number 7, I Know Who Killed Me. Lindsay Lohan made her acting debut as a young child in the movie The Parent Trap. In her teenage years, she transitioned into roles that were successful thanks to the films like Mean Girls, and it seemed like her career was about to take off. But I Know Who Killed Me was one of the first films that put a stop to her professional development. Lohan was cast to play twins in a considerably darker thriller mystery years after she portrayed identical twins in a Pleasant movie. But the film received poor reviews due to the confusing premise and her inconsistent acting. In comparatively smaller roles, Lohan found it difficult to restore her reputation as a talented actor. Many saw her leading role in Falling for Christmas in 2022 as a hint that she would eventually reclaim her old fame. Number 6, Star Wars Episode 2 and 3. Hayden Christensen's selection for the part of Anakin Skywalker appeared like a lucky break. He would serve as the star of the prequels, bringing the Star Wars property back into the mainstream. He would always be known as the person who gave rise to Darth Vader. Christensen has struggled to land additional jobs as a result of being associated with the dark side of a popular brand, and being the star of a critically criticized series of movies at the time. Number 5, Snow White. Adriana Caselotti's performance in the Disney film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs helped make her a household name. Even if you're unfamiliar with her name, you are certain to remember Snow White's voice. Unfortunately, that realization led to more problems than a poisoned apple. Number 4, Serenia. The movie Serenia had a significant influence on George Clooney's life. The geopolitical thriller received favorable reviews and included on several critics' top 10 lists for the year's greatest films. In addition, Clooney won an Oscar, a BAFTA, and a Golden Globe for his portrayal, but at great mental expense. While on set, Clooney suffered a traumatic brain injury that left him with long-term debilitating migraines and neurological adverse effects. Clooney considered killing himself because it was so severe and agonizing. Fortunately, after a few successful brain surgeries and consistent rehabilitation, he made a full recovery. Number 3, Swept Away. The Queen of Pop, Madonna, has had some notable film appearances, such as Desperately Seeking Susan and Evita. But this remake, which she co-wrote with her then-husband Guy Ritchie, was a complete failure. Even though Madonna has since made appearances in movies and on television and is still regarded as a huge success, she has not played a leading role as an actress. Number 2, Star Wars Episode 1. This is actually very sad. When Jake played young Anakin Skywalker, he was only 9 years old. Despite the fact that he was excellent in the role, the movie garnered negative reviews and Lloyd faced a lot of bullying as a result. He swore off the entertainment industry and was eventually incarcerated and had schizophrenia later on. Number 1. Superman Returns. Although Brandon's portrayal as Superman was passable, it would also be his final appearance as the famous character. The movie received negative reviews for being dull, and a few years later, Henry Cavill reprised the role of the Man of Steel in a new version of the plot. Legends of Tomorrow, a television program, became Roth's home. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed our video. Please let us know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon for more amazing videos to come. See you next time. Bye!